Parents, believe it or not, this one is going to be great for you, but teachers, this one is especially for you. Parents, you'll want to watch this because you can A, send it to teachers. B, you'll know some tips that will actually help you help your kid. Teachers, what's up? Let me give you a calendar tip today. What's up, teachers? My name is Seth Perler. I'm an executive function coach, and I help struggling students navigate this thing called education so that they can have a great life. And calendars are a crazy nightmare. I want to tell you what my experience is. Teachers and parents, you will be able to validate this experiences and tell the teachers that this is true. So here's what happens, teachers. I work with these students from middle, high school, college students, but I also work with kids in elementary school sometimes. And I'm working with these kids and we're trying to figure out what the heck needs to happen. And if you don't know this already, teachers, and I've ranted about this before, but I know you are there in the classroom because you love kids and you want to serve kids, right? You are there because you want to serve. But the mass of information that parents and kids have to sift through in order to figure out what needs to be done is insane. And you can make life easier for them by implementing these things. So what I'm going to show you is basically, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I do some calendaring with my kids. I'm going to show you a real example here. And it doesn't matter what you use. If you use Google Calendar, Schoology, Infinite Campus, Google Classroom, yada, 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 whatever you use, what you need to understand is that it is very complicated for parents and kids to come to all the different sites, all the different teacher sites, sift through all the different portals, figure out what the grades are, figure out what the homework is, figure out which teachers post homework on which days, which teachers post grades on which days, how often they're supposed to check it. Everybody's different. It's completely random. It's really nuts. And I want, and you want, and the parents want, and the kids want, we want the same thing. We want kids to have a sane, manageable amount of work, but we want them to focus on the important things that are helping them to learn stuff. That's what we want them focused on, is learning, not navigating all this craziness just to figure out what the heck is done. Is that enough clarity about the problem? Are you convinced there's a problem? I sure hope you are, because there is. And it's really, for kids who struggle with executive function, it is particularly challenging and unfair even for them. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. So what I'm going to show you here is, this is an example of a real event that I host. And this is just one example that I moved to this date to show you. This is Google Calendar. And on Google Calendar, I have a specific calendar just for the kids that I'm working with this semester. And this is a real event. And when I click on this event, you will see that I have a lot of details in there. And I have those details so that they can find everything they need. So let's see what I put in there. I put what the goal, what we're doing today, what the goal is, and I put some notes. And they don't need to know what all these notes mean, but some of them are more detailed than others. There's a reason for that. Anyhow, what actions they're supposed to do, they know what this stuff means. And I have links. Well, would you look at that? I have some links here. There's their schedule, a time zone converter, because I work with people in different time zones around the country, the Zoom link that we use, the how they can log in to the course that we use, and what is the executive function video. So I have all this stuff here. Well, I have an example for you of what you can/should do and why, and I will show you all that. And here are the notes that I'm going from today. So the first note that I'm going to show you here, you can read all my notes. Teachers, how do you set up an executive function friendly homework calendar, whatever you're using? The goal is for parents and students, they should not have to contact you, because there is clarity and there is simplicity. You're not overcomplicating it. You're being extremely clear. But it's as succinct and simple as possible. So that is the goal here. Your goal, you'll know if you're doing this right, because you minimize the emails that you get from parents asking you what the heck is going on, because you have it clearly available to everybody. Here are some things to not do, teachers. Here are some things to not do. Do not say anything contemptuous ever. Don't, because it assumes a won't. What does that mean? If you're contemptuous or sarcastic in a negative way, these kids feel it. Their nervous systems feel it. And I'm sure all of you here know what I'm talking about. You wouldn't be following my work if you were contemptuous, probably. But you've seen it happen with some teachers before when they're contemptuous, they're rude, they have these little digs, and that contemptuousness is very painful to kids, to their nervous system. So you should not do that because it assumes a won't. It assumes that they're not doing what they're being asked or told to do because they won't. They're being willful. They're just not trying hard enough. When in fact, when it comes to executive function, it's usually a can't. They literally can't do everything that we're asking. Even if we don't understand why, they really struggle to do that. And this contemptuousness invalidates legitimate needs that kids have. Kids have legitimate needs for support, legitimate executive function needs, and it invalidates that. And it's really shameful and difficult. So don't do that. Don't say you should have been paying attention to the instructions. I write it on the board. You know to look there. You should have checked the portal. I already told you, you need to listen. You need to try harder. And do not give busy work because, and do not misunderstand processing and intentional challenges, the legitimacy of them, and do not expect families and kids to be mind readers. So those are the don'ts. Don't do those things. So these are sort of some contemptuous things that I hear that are thrown around quite a bit. Those are not going to help the situation. What should we do? All right, here's what I'm suggesting. On every single calendar item you ever do, on every email, on anything you ever share with families and kids, add all of the links. Add your FAQ, add your teacher homepage, add when to check the grades, add when to find your homework. Let me show you something real quick. I know I'm going fast, but I'll show you what I mean by these things in a concrete way. One thing you can do is you can use a document like this. You probably know this already, but let's say you have your document and you want to go ahead and take a link. We're going to take this link here. I'm going to use this one right here. We're going to snag that link and I'm going to take it right here and I'm going to highlight this and I'm going to add it into the document and there is a link there and I'm going to apply it. And now when we click this link, your kids can open up the link. It's very easy. This is just an example of a calendar that I created, but we want to be adding these links so that they can find everything that they need. So what I'm going to show you here is a real example of how to do this. So we're going to go back to the calendar and I will break this all down for you. What we want to do is, in this case, we're saying that at 9 a.m., for example, there's a language arts draft of a narrative. And when you open this up, it says today, the goal is to learn to draft the narrative so that blah, blah, blah. What often happens is kids and parents are like, why do we need to do this? Well, you should, just like you learned in teacher school, for every single thing you do, have an objective. We should not be doing busy work. So if there's a good reason that you're assigning the thing, tell them what it is. Okay, that'll help a lot right there. So every time, in my opinion, that you say this is what the homework is, you should say why, the objective, the goal or the objective. Learn to draft a narrative so that you can learn the skills for blah, blah, blah. When's it due? Right there. How long should it take? You should spend about 30 to 45 minutes focusing to finish this. This tells the parents exactly what it should look like. When and how often to work on it. Is this something that they should work on a couple nights a week? Is this something that they should do the night before? And it should take that long? Like, explain this, answer these questions that parents have. How much should I write? 200 to 500 words. Look at that. That's a nice big amount of space so that so that every kid can be successful on whatever the assignment is. This is just an example, obviously. I don't care if you're teaching math or science or social studies or what. This is just an example. What if I'm not done in time? Or what if it takes longer? You should answer that right here on the assignment. Right here, teachers, you should tell them. What if I have a question? What if the kid has a question? Tell them so that the parents know. If you have a question, you should email me, blah, blah. Don't necessarily expect me to email you back for this long because I have a life, whatever it is. Like, that should be there. What about accommodations? You want to add that there, teachers? What should you add, a challenge or a bonus for kids who like to go above and beyond, for kids who are really into your class? And then check this out. You can say something like, hey, 60 seconds, watch me describe your assignment here on Loom. And you can use this amazing tool called Loom if you don't use it already. And you can do something like this. Hello, students. What is up? Here is your assignment right here on this document right here. I'm going to go ahead and show you what to do, tell you how long it should take, blah, 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 blah. yada, yada, yada. There we go. Bada boom, bada bang. I love Loom. It's a phenomenal tool. You can answer so many questions. You can make everything so much easier for everybody if you do something like this. So getting back to the calendar here, what else might you do? I hope you are liking these ideas, teachers. If you're liking this, please give it this a thumbs up, a like, a comment, whatever. Support me if this is supporting you. Thanks a lot. Anyhow, what if I have a question? Watch me do it. And then what action should they take? In this case, in black and white, I spelled it out. Read the rubric, and you can link to a rubric there. Open the link for X, Y, and Z. Maybe you have a link to something that supports the assignment. Make an outline for 5 minutes, write for 30 minutes, click submit when you're done. Yes, you have to tell them to click submit because the kids who struggle with executive function are the ones who forget to click submit and then are punished for it. And then you should have a link tree or links. These are some of my links that I use. Like I have my schedule, my time zone converter, my Zoom link, and stuff. This is an example of what teachers might do. So you might, for example, and I'm going to show you how to do this right this second. So one thing that you can do, you can take your teacher FAQ. If you don't have one, I have a video on that somewhere, but snag it. Go ahead and click on FAQ, click this little insert link button, go ahead and put it there. Why is that an invalid URL? I don't know. That's weird. But anyhow, so that's what you can do. This is a valid URL. Anyhow, you can go ahead and save your links there. So let's go back to this. So if they want to go to my FAQ, and I did it right, I don't know why I screwed it up. They click the link and that should open up my FAQ. This is my personal FAQ on my website, sethperler.com, but this is just an example. You will want to have your own FAQ that works for you. So let me go ahead and close that, get back to this calendar. Then syllabus for your fall semester. If you have a syllabus, you should probably put that in your links. And you should say things like this. Every Wednesday night, check your grades here on Infinite Campus. Then when they click it, it opens up Infinite Campus or wherever they go to check their grades. Every day we have class, check your homework here on Schoology. Then they can go to Schoology, they can log in there, whatever you have. Lost your password, go here. Have a question about homework, do this. Now, parents, kids will often, especially middle and high school kids, they'll say to their parents, my teachers don't like it when you email them or when I email them. They don't want to be bugged. Well, if that's true, say, have a question about homework, figure it out yourself, bozo. But you're probably not that type of teacher. So you're probably going to say, email me and I'll get back to you or whatever, have a question about homework. What should they do if they have a question about homework? Make it clear. Okay. What's your late work policy? Parents, how to help your child with this homework. How do you know when you're doing too much or too little, whatever. These are some of the questions that you can have links to or that you can have descriptions of. And so teachers, I'm just telling you that this here, it's going to take you a few minutes, but it will save you time, but it will save everybody so much agony, so much frustration. It will help them so much. So to recap this and put a nice little bow on it, here's the deal. The gist is on every calendar item, every email, everything, you should have the important links and stuff that they need. I see so many teachers, things that are unclear to me. And I was a teacher for 12 years and I'm struggling to figure out what the heck you're talking about. Please don't do that. They're really, you got to understand, they have multiple classes, multiple teachers. This will make their life easier. So what do? Make it linear. What's due? When's it due? What time? What day? Be specific. Why is it even homework? What should you learn? Why does this even matter in their life? Say it. How long should it take? What if it takes longer? How can you get help? What if it's missing or late or incomplete? What about accommodations if that's appropriate on this? Can you send a Loom? And I do want to say less is more. Less is more. Oh, great. There's a chicken in my backyard. Not invited. Anyhow, what if less is more with homework? So I used to give these quizzes. I call them the 3-question quiz. It would be math class, science class, whatever. And I didn't like big quizzes. And I never, as a teacher, liked the stock quizzes and stuff. but I need to know what the kids are learning. I need an assessment of different types, but I would do these 3-question quizzes where I just ask 3 quick questions on a little piece of paper where I would tear papers up into eighths, have them put their name on it, collect them. It's so easy for me to figure out what's going on. That's just an example, because you're going to get a lot as a teacher. You get a lot of pressure sometimes from the system or from textbook manufacturers or curriculum manufacturers or from the powers that be, these implications that things should be a certain way. And if especially if you're a newer teacher, I want to tell you that if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. Trust your gut. There's a lot of stuff out there that is overkill. All right. So basically, less is more when it comes to homework, when it comes to what you're doing anyway. Really, is it valid? Is it busy work? Less is often more. So just keep that in mind when you're doing all this stuff. And then my last thing for you is I have this question. Again, I don't even know if I introduced myself. My name is Seth Perler, SethPerler.com. I help struggling students with executive function stuff. What I leave out, teachers? What can teachers put in? Put this in the comments below right now. Tell us, what can teachers put in to make life easier for everybody? What should parents know? Parents that are watching, what do you want us to know? Add it in the comments below. Tell us what your thoughts are. I have a lot of freebies at SethPerler.com, and I work as my life's work to serve you, to serve human beings and help kids. If you like what I'm doing, give it a thumbs up right now. You click that thingy. Leave a comment below. And please, if you like my work, share it with someone, grab the link and share it with someone right now. And subscribe, get some freebies from me, what have you. Most of all, 100%, the most important thing, parents and teachers who are watching right now, number one thing, turn this stupid video off, go connect with your kid, laugh, smile, have some connection. Take care. I will see you soon.